Flory Models daily vlog. Here we are, Monday the 20th of July 2015, and for me it's decal day still. Technically, so let me show you this one first. We decaled this one on Friday, and then to be honest, over the space of the weekend I was away, come in, we had a couple of little air traps, shall we say, but nothing that we wouldn't, have anyway. What I've done, I've gone around with a pin and just started to, just gently, lightly prick those out, and then another case putting down some X28, which we found have been the best ones for this, and generally just then waiting a couple of hours, coming back, have a look. And decaling is one of those things that if it's hurried, you can end up making a few little mistakes on it, i.e. perhaps you'll get a tear in it where you've tried to push it down too heavy. But if you just give it time, let them set them down, come again, and that's where you get that fantastic looking almost painted on decal effect. And you see some of the guys, especially on a kit like this, where the actual riveting is so heavy that it just looks like paintwork and beautifully done. And normally you speak to them and they'll always tell you, oh, it's just a case of time going through. Again, this is definitely a case of it, because what I've done, I had got it to a point, especially the roundels on the tops of the wings, was loads of riveting. They looked very good, but some of them you just didn't have the riveting on every single one. So just by literally coming along with a razor blade, which I did have here earlier, I'll put it down somewhere, with one of my safety blades, just literally popping a very fine line across, another coat of X28, and then leave it. Because the thing is, if you end up scoring all over the place and going too mad with it, and then you come in with X28, sometimes it can bunch up and you get left with split marks and cracks, or you just lift one completely out of the way and it can become a real problem. But decaling is just definitely one of those things where time is better. I've got a small problem down here where, to be honest, mine, it may have been my fault to be honest, but the sheet got creased and it's caused a crack in the decal. But I've got some blue, that should be pretty much an easy fix, or I might even just leave it as part of the weathering. I might put some silver in there, looks like it's had a scratch, okay? But generally, I must admit, the decals, the cartograph, we spoke about them, have gone down really, really well. So I'm thinking by tomorrow we can then push on with this one again. This one will then be left to dry, and we can start to push on with the weathering of that one. But definitely, the way that the decals have gone down, especially over the riveting on the side, which is really heavy, is absolutely fine. So been a fantastic one on that. In the meantime, as you can see down here, the Typhoon has been getting the 29 Squadron touch. Okay, so we've been putting those markings on. I had a real worry that this eagle's head on the back was not going to be seen, because when you look at it on the paper, it looks black, and I'm thinking, it's not going to work. But actually, as a decal, as soon as it's on and it's sat down, then obviously we've got no problem with it. It's a lovely grey. The decals, these are the extra decals, these guys here from Hannants, tend to have no problem. Their early decals, perhaps 10 years ago, were a little bit wayward, shall we say, a little bit sort of papery almost. They didn't like to settle down. These days they love microsol. They tell you to use microsol, so actually I'm not using X28 on this one. I'm using micro set and sol, just coming on with those. That's not sol, that's the other one. There's my new bottle of set, there it is. Okay, with both of those, again, it's a case of time, putting them down and going ahead. And then usual thing with these aircraft, they're quite grey, they're quite boring, but having the full colour tail and having the Foster's logo on the side, it's not Foster's, is it? Triple X on the side, we're absolutely fine, or 4X. So we've got the 3 on there and everything else. And it is the question, why have they got 3X's 29 Squadron? Don't know. Must be a reason. Can't think of it off the top of my head. I'm sure somebody will pop in. So now what I'm having to do is go around the other massive sheet with all the stencil data and putting these on absolutely everywhere, because let's face it, it's modern jet and everyone like putting markings on. It's like, health and safety gone mad. So it is covered in them. As you can imagine, these all go down there somewhere. I'm not going to probably put every single one on, but I'm certainly obviously going to put the major ones down and everything else. A couple of things, not too keen on the old slime lines, the night markings on there. Might have been better to go with the photo etch. They're too flat. In reality, they're quite a lump on the sides and everything else like that. But obviously now we've got the decals on, as you can see, really coming to life. I'm going to spend probably another couple of hours tonight redecaling a lot of it, getting it all done. The decals underneath, the decals, because there's decals for everything, on all the fuel tanks, all those things like that. We can put them down there and then we'll be good to go. And then after that we can then come in a little bit more weathering. As I say, it's not going to have tons, but I do want to break up a bit of this grey by using a bit of oils and everything else, and then we can think about getting it mounted, playing with the electronics again, getting these lights all shaped up, make sure they're all working, okay, and then we can get it mounted up and it will be done. But generally, I must admit, really am enjoying it. It's nice to do it. It's actually a really good kit, very impressed with it now, and it's one of those kits that you start off with and you're looking at it thinking, it's just a big grey lump. And now I'm thinking, actually I do like this one really coming to life. And having both the Typhoons on the go as well, it's a totally different way of modelling, it's a totally different way of weathering. So from my point of view, it's almost taking your skills and doing them in different ways, because obviously this one we've used, you know, no pre-shading, and it's all done in post, if you like. So the weathering we did, especially underneath, doing all the grey work and things like that, and bleaching, is something different to do in this way. This one we're going to use more oils on the top and everything else. So this is going to have more sort of washes and post as well. So you've basically got two ways of painting and weathering and everything else like that. So saying all about that, get it back, wrong one. This guy, you can watch the first part in the in the spray booth, if you like. So that one is ready to watch now. So that's going to be part 8. It's going to be up on the site tonight, and that's going to get you primed. So it'll talk about all about the priming, putting the primer down just for 5 minutes, because it's very straightforward. Then we talk about in depth the underside. Yes, we use AK paints. Yes, there's a problem with them. No, it's not too bad. Yes, it did work and give a very nice finish, okay, after a little episode, which you'll see about on there. Then we go in and we do the post work. So we did all the bleaching work underneath. Talk about that, show you how to do that. Then we come on and do the grey work on this one. So same thing, grey work goes down, then it's bleached out, left, and then freehand camo and all of this. So we talk about doing freehand camo, and it's the first half of the freehand camo will get you to the end of part 8, and then part 9 we'll talk about doing freehand camo, tidying up, sharpening up, and adjusting your camo pattern if you've got problems with it. And then obviously you'll be coming along with this one as well. So originally I thought there was maybe going to be about an hour and a half of just about the actual airbrushing. Unless you do want to watch me just airbrush and make a lot of noise, it's probably worth me editing it down just a little bit, because I talk about the areas in depth, and then obviously about doing the striping, masking that up, putting them down, and doing everything. So I think it's going to be around about, I can do it in roughly around about an hour, 2 half-hour shows, and then we can talk about obviously deckling, getting those on and everything else, and that'll bring you up to speed. But my plan is, obviously you've got the next part of this one at part 8, and then you're going to have part 9 Wednesday, and then you're going to have probably part 10 on that one will be on Friday, and you might even get another part of this one in amongst that already, because we're really on a mission with these. I'm pushing through, and then for our next projects coming up after that as well. So altogether, coming along very nicely. A couple of things happened today. Well, the first one happened over the weekend. AK metals. Now I spoke about it, I don't know if I spoke about it openly or it was in one of my for the members had when I spoke about it, but I did say I didn't want to comment about it until I've spoken to them. Well, I have. Okay, so I've spoken to actually AK Interactive over the weekend and today, and they've basically said to me that there is a problem. Okay, this is theirs. I haven't got it in front of me to give you a word for word, but the gist of it was there's a very limited problem with some of their early batch of paints. Okay, now this is what I'd heard, and I thought it was as well. Okay, they're telling me that that's been fixed now, but obviously they're not too sure where the dodgy ones are. So if you had, like I had, it just peeling off all over the place, chances are you've got a bad bottle. So although they haven't told me to, I would give them an email, shoot them and say, look, I think I'm one of your ones that is a little bit wrong. Phil over at Flory Models said if I get in contact with you, you'll help me out. I have to say I have been having a lovely chat with them. They're very nice people, very, very approachable, and they've, you know, for them to put their hands up and say, yeah, it is a problem, I think is kudos to them, because there's far too many model companies out there who I could name and shame right now, but I won't, who will bury their head nicely in the sand and say, well, if we get too many complaints, we might do something about it, but it's not worth it. And I'm thinking, really? You know, just get off your ass and fix it. But there is companies out there, but AK, I have to say, hands up, they are not one of them. Now, obviously, I've only spoken to them at the moment about the extreme metal paints. I don't want to flood them with all my problems, but as we know, we've got a problem with this stuff as well, all right? So that's next on my list, but let's get one thing out of the way for the moment and talk about their extreme metal paints. They have said there is a fault, and they are happy to fix anything that's got it, but they have had a handful, probably a bit more, of feedback on it, all right? So get hold of them, say to them what the problem is, what colours you've got and everything else, and they'll be able to definitely put you in the right direction. But needless to say, it's been great speaking to them, very approachable, and because they've said it's their fault, I'm very happy. Yeah, they could have said, oh, well, it's because you used the wrong plastic, it could have been you've done this. They weren't, they were literally, yes, we have got a problem. We want to fix it. We hope we can fix it. And they've asked me if I'll do another one once I've got the correct stuff here. So they're sending me their set. In fact, I could do with 6 because I did buy 6 of each, and obviously one's a prize, and I have mentioned them. They haven't come back onto me on that one. But what I will do is when they are back here and I've got them here, I will do it again. All right, I'll spend another day having another go, and hopefully it will be as good. But I did say to them, the big selling point for me is that it's being maskable and you can overgo it and all the rest of it, and it's very handleable, and was very disappointed with it. They're still standing by it saying no, it's a problem with the batch and it is really good. So I'm hoping they are going to put all this right, and it is, because if it is, I'm going to be a happy camper, as you know. So anyway, kudos for them for getting in touch with me. To be honest, they came to me, I didn't chase them, and kudos for them putting their hands up saying it was a fault and they do want to fix it. So congratulations to AK, you're now on my top of my Christmas card list for this year. One other thing I do have to mention, Wayne, thank you very much for your little letter, and I assume this is a colour chart for this one, is it? Oh right, okay, yeah. Sorry, I won't show that because I haven't even looked at that yet. But Wayne Hillman on the site, we all know him. He has sent me this today, okay, which is the brand new primer, okay, from Badger, which everybody in the forum is saying this stuff is supposed to be brilliant, okay. Now, as we know, I haven't had particular success with primers over the years. They're brilliant to start with, and then afterwards I find a fault, all right. What I'm going to do is, Buster, bless his heart, is going to get a coat of this. I'm going to sand him to an inch of his life, and then I'm going to actually give a coat of this over Buster, and then I'm going to wait, and then I will then play with it and see how it sands, how it levels out and everything before I make a statement. All right, so you guys watching this as the live news show of an evenings and all the rest of it, if you basically join me over the next few days, you can watch me do this live. But then what I'll do is I'll edit it also into like a full pit, and we'll put this as an on test, all right. But I don't want to jump up and down and say this stuff's brilliant until I've played it. But it's Badger's new primer, and apparently it's brilliant. It's self-leveling, you can sand it and you can do all those things with it, all right. But as I said, what I'm going to do is tomorrow Buster's going to get a sanding job, okay, then we're going to prime him, which I'll do with you live, and tomorrow's live show with Sid, all right. And then what we'll do is then on Wednesday I'll try and sand it, okay, and then on Thursday we'll come out with final results, and then what I'll do is put it all together as a standalone, as an on-test video, but you guys can watch me live with it. But hopefully this stuff could be very good, all right. So here we go. It's water-based acrylic polyurethane easy surface primer. Simple and easy to use, self-leveling, detail, enhanced coverage, excellent adhesion and durability, dries to a hard, flat finish for use on plastics, metals, wood, resin, various other substrates, is that? I don't know. Simple and easy to clean up. Perfect priming every time. God, let's hope so, because we could do with a decent primer. But I know some of you guys on the forum have been using this one. I have been watching from afar, as I say, and it generally looks to be very, very good, okay. So I'm hoping it is, but as I say, watch this space over the next couple of days and we'll find out. All right, that's about it for today. What we're going to do is tomorrow night, hopefully Sid will be here for the live show, and if Steve's going to join us as well, so hopefully you'll be here for that one, our bi-weekly one, and everything else like that. So until tomorrow night, everybody, happy modelling, take care.